Viddal, I'm not even going to ask you how you are because I already know you must be buzzing. But
Yeah.
just your fifth fight, you're going to be sharing the same ring. You're going to be
Yeah.
preparing with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. Just give us your initial reaction to how you felt when you got the call.
It was a shock. It was a shock because I heard obviously the event was happening. I knew the two legends were gonna go at it, but to hear, that I would be a part of the show is, I don't know, man, it's crazy. It's a crazy opportunity. It's one that I obviously need to make the most of. But yeah, it was crazy to find that out, especially going through the times that we're going through. Every fighter in the world is finding it difficult to get in the ring, even on a small cool show. So to get an opportunity to get back in the ring and it be on such a big stage, yeah, I only can be grateful for it and just show my appreciation with a big performance.
Every time I go to research about you, every time I know your age, I know you're 23, but every time I can't believe it because I just look at the last year alone, the amount of things that you've done. It's
Yeah.
crazy. What's it been like to be a part of it?
You know what? I really don't acknowledge it. I know it's happened and I know it's under my list of achievements, but like I don't Google myself to double check, what I've done. I don't really watch the videos back and stuff like that. I kind of just keep moving forward. I don't feel like it's time to start reminiscing yet. I don't think I've earned the right to reminisce on the achievements so far. So for me, it's just about moving forward and adding to the list. And one day I'll sit down and say, "Oh yeah, I did do that. I did do this." But I don't take it for granted. I know that I've had some crazy achievements for someone of my age, but at the same time, if I sit down and dwell on them and reflect on them, you're stopping. So I need to just keep moving forward, let everyone acknowledge it, give me a few bits of praise, and I just keep going. And yeah, that's really my aim.
We'll get to all the different aspects of your career because, I mean, it's like a maze trying to cover it all. We'll start on
It's quite a bit.
you when you first walked into a boxing gym. If I had told you in 10, 13 years, however many years it was, that you're going to
Yeah.
be on this card, what would your reaction have been?
Well, I would have expected both guys to have retired by then. So I guess my answer would have been that they would be in their 50s and probably doing something else, as opposed to fighting. So it definitely wouldn't have been on my mind as an opportunity that would arise. So that's what I mean. My life is just unpredictable. Life's very unpredictable, and you just don't know what's gonna happen next. All you can do is prepare, put yourself in the best position, have the best team around you. But in terms of the opportunities that come up, you just never know. I've had some great opportunities in my professional career so far. Even fighting on the Manny Pacquiao undercard, MGM Grand. It's just stuff that not a lot of novice professionals can say that they've done. But I surround myself with the right people. I got the right exposure. And yeah, it's just one thing just leads to another. So we're just enjoying the journey right now.
And do you think it's helpful for you that you get these opportunities on such big stages, or would you rather sort of that small hall route where you kind of get to learn your trade? You're under so much pressure every time you go in the ring.
It's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. I don't think I would want it any other way, because it's such a rare thing to be in the position that I'm in. To kind of wish that I didn't have it would be, would be weird for me. Like, it'd be weird to me because this is what everyone is striving for. This is what everyone grinds for. This is what people want to achieve in their 15th, 20th fight. So I wouldn't want it any other way. This is good for me. This is where I belong. This is where I am, and I keep taking opportunities and doing well. So that's what I focus on. But I wouldn't want it any other way.
I've spoken to you enough times now that I know that for all the success in other parts of your life, boxing is number one. If you look at your career so far, how do you analyze it?
What, amateur and pro or just professional?
Professional.
Professionally, I feel like I had two performances in the beginning that were, you know, people way below my level, and I done what I needed to do in terms of getting the knockouts early, quick. Third fight, pay-per-view, headline in Dubai. You know, boxing in the Middle East isn't a big thing, so to be part of one of the pioneering events that is getting publicity worldwide, and to headline it again, another groundbreaking experience. And then of course, after that fight, to be signed to Mayweather Promotions and fight and have my Mayweather Promotions debut uh, is again another landmark, another stepping stone. So we're definitely ticking the right boxes, and it's been a great experience. I think I'm on my fifth fight already. It goes to show boxing careers are not long, because I remember my debut like it was yesterday, and we're already going in preparing for the fifth fight. First 6 rounder as well. All the other fights were 4 rounds. We got my first 6 rounder, which is good. I'm a thinking fighter. I like to have time to analyze, break down my opponent. I'm not a rushing type fighter. So the more rounds, I expect to see more finishes on my record, because I'll have more time to get to them. And yeah, we just keep progressing. Hopefully, pick up a title. You know, something domestic, something that I can just, you know, wear around and defend, and then we'll make the progression into the big leads in the next 18 months, 2 years.
Something domestic. Does that mean you're finally going to make your UK debut?
So domestic, nah, you know, maybe, but something domestic in terms of title. So, you know, whether that be a US title, or whether that be like a junior title, or something that can get me a little ranking, and you know, I can, like I said, I can wear around proudly and defend. Is probably what we'll do first, and hopefully the UK fight can come at a time when there's an opponent who everyone is familiar with, and we can have a, you know, hopefully a crowd again by then as well. I'd hate to fight in the UK right now with no crowd. I feel like it would really take away the effects of what I can do and the audience that I can bring. So we definitely want to wait for that to be resolved before we come back home.
Yeah, we definitely want to see that sooner rather than later.
Of course.
Do you feel, obviously we've all had a lot of time to sort of in our own way improve different aspects of our life. Has this lockdown given you the chance to improve a lot with Jeff in the gym?
Yeah, so you know, for the majority of the lockdown, I was in the UK, so I was training with my dad a lot. You know, he trained me from the beginning, so it's easy to work with him. He knows my strengths, weaknesses, what works for me, how to get through to me. So it was good to have some extra time with him actually, and have some training with him, just like back in the day, just like old times. And of course, I'm back in Vegas again. I can work with Jeff and build on what me and my dad were working on whilst I was in the UK. So yeah, it's been a great time to give the body some rest, work on other things, you know, mobility, you know, add yoga into my routine, you know, a few diet changes, really get a chance to explore with the body without knowing that a competition is coming up, which is crucial, because you don't want to add too many changes to your body when you're about to go into competition, and put the body in shock. So it definitely gives you time to experiment, decide what works, what doesn't work, what training works for you, what doesn't. So I've used it as a very effective time alongside all the other things that I do as well.
You've got a very experienced team around you. You've got Amer, who manages Badu Jack as well. You've obviously got Jeff. Mayweather. When you look at the cruiserweight division, is there a clear path of, you say you want the domestic title? Have you even started to look at maybe British rivals, world rivals that you would?
I don't think it's a thing you have to look for. They'll come. It's guaranteed. Some rivals will come. Some problems will come. Someone's gonna say this. Someone's gonna say that. I'm just waiting for it to happen. I don't need to initiate anything, because I'm living my life and doing my thing, as you can see, and I don't talk about anyone. I don't say anything about anyone, and I seem to be progressing. But we know how the world works. and we know someone will have something to say. There will be rivals that pop up. There will be people who become competition. Obviously, there's a great cruiserweight scene in Britain right now. You know, Richard Riakporhe, Chris Smith, Lawrence Okoli going for a world title, and the list goes on. The list goes on and on. And in over here in the US, the cruiserweight division isn't as big, but there's still a few tasty ones out there. Obviously, Andrew Tabiti as well, fellow promotional stablemate, who is the best we have to offer right now. So even to be around him and be around people like that in the gym is a great advantage for me to see how that level is. And I'll know when I'm ready. My team will know when I'm ready, and we won't let pride get in the way, make any hasty decisions. But we will know when it's time. You know, as we said, I'm only 23 years old. The heavier you are in boxing, the later you mature, the later you grow into your strength and become, you know, you get to your optimal. So there's no need to rush. There's no need for me to do anything crazy. I just need to keep winning, keep the brand going. And by the time we do get to that level, hopefully we have such a monstrous following that, yeah, it's something that people wouldn't have seen before. Maybe in the likes of Ryan Garcia, but I mean from someone from the UK, a UK boxer who can grab that audience and that crowd together, just like he has. And I could be I'll be the first person to do it, to come from that YouTube community and stuff. So I can't wait for that, but it's all hard work, it's all timing, and I'm willing to put it in. So it's just patience as well. Patience is key.
There are definitely some tasty British cruiserweight fights. Been a good win a couple of weeks ago. It'd be good.
Yeah, good knockout. It was a good knockout.
Definitely, for sure. When you're ready to start stepping up, there's some good fights for you for sure. One thing I always think when I read the comments on your videos,
yeah,
a lot of people have almost said they say that you're world champion already. Do you ever feel the pressure of that there's such this expectation that you will be world champion, that you live up to it?
Yeah, but not because of other people. Like, I could care less what people comment on the video. Obviously, it's positive. Like, great, thank you. You think I'm going to be a world champion, but I'm not putting pressure on myself to be a world champion because people commenting at home think I'll be one. I already have that pressure on myself. I have put that pressure on myself from, I'd say, 17. That's when I really said, you know what, I can be a world champion. I looked at the competition around. I'm not just sitting at home, like, making random guesses and predictions, like saying I'm going to play in the Premiership. Like, I know it's never going to happen. But to say I can be world champion is realistic. I can see the competition. I can see the level that's around me. I can see who is the elite of the sport. I've sparred with the elite of the sport. I've been in there with the people who are at the top of the sport. And I don't feel out of place. And I don't have any issues to the point where I'm like, wow, you are so far ahead of me. I'm struggling. I never have that. So if I'm in there, and even though sparring is different to real fights and etc., still an experience. So if I'm in there with these people, and these people are saying to me, "No, you're good. You're a good fighter. You know, you can be at this level," they will know better than anyone else. So it's not just a statement based off my own beliefs. It's backed up with the evidence of people who are already at that level. So yeah, I do believe I can be a world champion. I believe I'll be a good world champion as well. And the key to being a good world champion is not to rush to get there. I'm not trying to get there and it just be a little highlight of my career and then I'm done. The reason why I'm taking my time is because when I get there, I'm going to be a nuisance to everyone because of how long I'm going to be there. So yeah, I believe I can be a world champion. I believe I can be the best cruiserweight in the world. It's just all timing.
It's interesting what you said about Ryan Garcia, because he's definitely he's almost bigger than ability-wise.
Yeah.
So you're probably the same in terms of you're much more well-known for who you are rather than who you are in the ring. So to the sort of normal boxing fan, so to speak, with inverted commas, how would you sell yourself to them at this point?
Well, to the traditional boxing audience, it's quite easy to sell myself because I know I've got the credentials to back myself up. You know, I was an 8-time national champion as an amateur. I represented Team GB, represented England over 10 times, European championships, world championships more than once, different age groups. I was number 6 in the world at one point as well, I think when I was 16, 17, you know. So these are credentials that if you want to look at top prospects, or you want to look at prospects of the professional game, these are things that are always looked at as a reference. So when you look at my credentials and compare them to someone who, say, has no social media, no YouTube, no nothing, I probably achieve more anyway than them. So I know it's not hard for me to, it's easier to sell myself to the boxing world than it is to sell myself as a YouTuber, to be honest. Because when it comes to YouTube, people can say, oh, it's KSI. If you ain't got KSI, then no one would know who you are, which is a fact, because I wasn't a content creator before I knew him. And I didn't think of being a content creator before. However, those years was spent whilst he was making his videos and his craft. I was spent getting my achievements in my craft, which is in boxing. So it's very easy. It's very easy for me to say to the traditional boxing fan, you know, who I am, what I've achieved. They can obviously go and check as well, and then match it up with the people who they think are top prospects, and realize that there's actually there's a very much a similarity between my credentials and theirs. And obviously I'm signed to Mayweather Promotions. I'm signed to the company who's generated some of the biggest, if not, no, not even some of the biggest gates of all time in boxing. So if you want to doubt, or you want to for my career to be valid to you, I think that's more than enough to show you that, yeah, besides all the YouTube stuff, music stuff, whatever I'm doing, the legitimate boxing world have an interest and believe I have a promising future.